Hello everybody, it's Claire here with a quick and easy 5-inch album how to make to share with you. It fits into our deep mini window box, which comes flat packed. So it starts off like that, and with our black construction tape and a little bit of black card and some gorgeous papers, I've used Graphic 45 papers, it ends up looking like this. And it's designed to fit chocolates or petit fours, 32 in this one, and there is a smaller version which is half the depth, and you can get 16 in that one. But if you wanted to add a mini album into it, this is how to do it. The mini album you could use just on its own as well. So I've started off by cutting my chipboard pieces. All the measurements are throughout the video as we go. So if you want to follow along, these are the chipboard pieces, and I'm going to take my black construction tape and just edge the two large squares. So I'm going to go half on, half off, and take the tape along, just hold the tape at the end and pinch right to where I started. Turn the corner, hold the tape, pull it, pinch along but not quite to the corner. I want to leave those ears sticking up. Turn, hold, and go to the end and rip off the tape. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just snip into that corner, cut the angle off and get rid of the little black bit, and snip, lift back, just cut the angle off at the corner and flatten it, and then turn over and do the same on the other side. The best scissors to use with our construction tape are titanium scissors. The tape doesn't stick to those. So just cut that corner back. And the reason I'm cutting the corners off is if you have a straight edge of tape and then put paper over the top, the edge of the tape will lift and over time, and it won't look very attractive. So I'm just neatening off those corners so that they get hidden under the paper. So that's one board edged. So I'll just whiz around and do the second one. So half on, half off, and completely flatten it to the start point, not to the corner. Turn and pull and pinch, but not quite to the corner, and then rip the tape at the end of the third side, and you'll see why in a minute. And then just snip those corners. So snip into the corner, lift, flatten one side down, and just angle cut the other one before sticking it down. So it's a really quick way of assembling your album cover. You're not using loads of card. You're not painting edges. And also, if you're going to use treasure gold or gilding wax, the tape gives a really nice professional finish if you add that over the top. But all of the edges are hidden, so it hides the chipboard edges that you wouldn't get if you painted your chipboard. So those are our two pieces covered, and now we want to take the spine piece and just edge the top and the bottom. So just take your tape and stick it down across the top. I'll put the link to the tape and the mini box underneath in the description under the video. So just edge those, and then you want to take a piece of tape that is about 1 inch longer than the spine, the long edge of the spine, stick it down onto the spine, turn it over, take one of your cover pieces, line it up over the top of your spine so that the side edges, the top and bottom edges, are level, and the two edges that you're sticking together are level. So smooch it on the work surface and then let it flip over and just flatten the tape just to the edge of the chipboard, and then open it up, pull the tape so that the pieces are flat and you've got a nice gap so that your spine will go straight over and sit on top of the cover. And then take the ends of your tape, lift them up, stick them down, and then just take a strip of tape to cover that gap or the gutter in the middle. Press the tape into the gutter. You could use a ruler to do that, just to get a nice finish. And then turn over to the outside and add the other cover. So tape an inch longer either end than the spine. Turn it over so you've got sticky side up, and then take your second cover, line up the side edges, and then push both edges down onto your work surface, wiggle it about a bit, flip over and stick the tape but only on the chipboard, open out, stretch the tape so that it's sitting flat in between that gap, and bring your tails up and over and cover that gap to finish off, and then just press the tape into the gutter. And then I always push my album covers under the spine just to give a neat finish. So that's the little cover finished. So now cut out the pieces that we need for the spine mounts and we'll add those in. So before we start sticking pieces in, I've put tape either side of that spine gap, or the gap between the spine and the cover, on both sides, and just brought it in about half an inch or quarter of an inch, so that when we stick the card over the top, and remove that tape backing, if you can. Pain of my life this is, bane of my life. I've found the more expensive the tape, the easier it is to get the backings off, but not today. Oh, that's it. Ooh. They're off. And then take your smaller piece of card that's got tape around the edges. Remove the backing from those tape strips as well, and centre it over the spine so that you've got an even gap at the top and the bottom, and then stick it down. This one needs to be straight. This is your page guide. And then press down onto those tapes. Get your ruler and press down where the gap between the spine and the cover is on both sides, just to start the fold going. And then you'll find that the whole piece will stick really nicely, top and bottom. It won't lift up, and that's what you want. And then just wiggle your covers about, and then just repress those covers under the spine. So that is your centre spine piece done. Then take the two pieces that sit on the inside front and back cover and stick those in place. I've put tape around the sides of mine, and I'm going to put a little bit of tacky glue in the middle. Pull those off, squiggle, squiggle, just so that the paper or the card doesn't bubble up and lift away from the chipboard cover. So position those, use the, Sophie's arrived and she can't get in the door because I've locked it. Hello, Sophie. Hold on 1 minute, I'll be back. And then I'm going to do the same with the back piece. I've taken the backings off the tape, put some squiggly glue in the middle, and then lining up the top and bottom edge with the card that's already in place. I'm just going to stick this piece in place on the inside back cover, and then we're ready to add the spine pieces. So cut yours out and then we'll put them into our book. And here they are, our little spine pieces. We've got a small, medium and large piece, and you need to score them 1/2 inch in from the long edge, and then we're ready to stick them together. So I'm just going to use tacky glue. I'm going to take the smallest piece, put tacky glue on the spine, that flat section, and smooth it down. Now the secret is not to use too much glue, but just smooth it so that it completely covers the whole of the area. And then I'm going to take the middle-sized piece and centre this smaller piece up over the top, lining up the top and bottom edge. And when I'm happy that it's sitting in straight, or sitting on top straight, I'm just going to really press down that centre section and then just fold up the sides and really firm them down. And then flip that piece over, fold down the side flaps, you could do this with tape. It's quite a handy tip just to put glue on top of the tape so that you can wiggle the piece around and get it straight. So glue all over, smooth it out, and centre it and stick it over the last piece, lining up the top and bottom edges. And when you're happy with where it's sitting, just stick it down. And then lift up that second layer of side flaps. You can see then whether you've got the piece in straight. And you can jiggle it around if you need to. And then press those down. Like that. And then if you turn it over, you might find that you've got just a little bit of card sticking out. If you have, just trim it off so that you've got a nice straight edge. And then lift all of your, let's get rid of these little black bits. Lift all of your side flaps up and just snip the top corner off. It just means, or makes it easier to put the pages on. So just snip from the top edge to the crease where it folds, just on those side pieces. And then let's do the other side. And then we're ready to put it in our little album. So I'm going to put strips of tape on the back of the centre of this larger piece. And I'm going to go all the way around the edges so that it sticks in really nicely. And let's take the backings off. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of tacky glue in that centre section, just so that it sticks down really firmly. little bit on the tape just in case I need to wiggle it around. Let's get rid of that bobble. Bring the little album back in. So at this stage it doesn't matter which is your top and which is your bottom, but the key thing is to hold those side flaps up of the bottom piece and then centre the piece between the gaps between your covers and spine, lining up the top and bottom edges with the top and bottom edges of the card that you've already got stuck in. And when you're happy with where it's sitting, stick it on down. And that is our spine mounts in. So the next thing to do is the pages. So with this little book, because of its size, it's only 5 inches. The pages aren't particularly large. I thought it'd be nice to have different shaped pages. I love doing that in little albums. So what I did was I took a piece of A4 card. So our card is 8 1/4 inches wide by 11 5/8 long. And I cut it into 2 widths. So the first one is 4 3/4, which is the depth of our spine mount. And that left a piece that's 3 1/2 inches. And then I trimmed them both at 9 1/2 inches and folded them in half. And that creates 2 page sizes. And then I took the black tape, and you can use it to join the pages. So I only cut 3 pieces of card to make the pages, and then I'm going to put black tape across one short edge on here, and then close my little page and very carefully fold the tape over, and that creates a pocket. Trim the ends off, and then let's do that with the other sized page. So tape all the way along one edge, so just rip it off. And then I'm going to use the work surface as my leveller and fold over, trim this end off, and then I'm just going to lift that end up and trim it back. And that's created 2 different sized pocket pages. So I've done 3 little ones and 3 large ones. So now they're ready to go into our book. So I'm going to make sure that all of the taped edges are at the top of each of the pages, and I'm going to pop them in. Because these are pocket pages, you could decorate them before putting them into the album, because they're going to drop over the spines. Or you could put them in and then decorate them. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to pop mine in so that you can see the album finished. And I'm going to start at the back. So I want to go small first, quite like that. So then I'm going to go small, large, small, large, small, large. So I'm going to lift them off my pile of pages like that. So the large one's going to go right at the very back. So I'm going to put tacky glue. Again, you could put tape, but I would put some tacky glue on top of it on both sides of the spine mount. Pick up the page and open it slightly and slide it on. Easier said than done. It doesn't want to go on. That's it. And then I'm going to lie it down And just make sure that it's sitting level with the piece of card that's sitting on the inside cover, and that it moves nicely. It doesn't click. If it's clicking, then this bottom edge is too close to the base of the spine mount. And when I'm happy with where it's sitting, I'm just going to press it down. So you don't need to put a lot of tacky glue onto your spine mount. The more glue you've got on there, the longer the card will take to stick. So that's page number 1 in. Then I'm going to take a smaller page, glue both sides of the next spine mount. Taped edge at the top, slide it on, line it up with the page underneath. Make sure that it moves nicely. Press it down. And so I'm just going to work my way to the front of the book, adding the pages one by one to each of the spine mounts. So it is quite a quick and easy little album to make. And also, because of its size, because it's under 6 inches, you can get 4 page pieces out of one 12 by 12 album. So if you just wanted to go with one particular colourway from the paper collection, then you don't need to use a lot of paper. You can be creative with a few sheets. So let's stick the next small one on. Line it up, make sure that it moves. And the next one. So you can see I'm not putting an awful lot of glue on there. It's not dripping in glue. Line it up. And then the last one. So all my taped edges are now sitting at the top. So when you look down at the book, they'll all be the same colour. And that's it. That is a little book all ready. And here's a little album all finished and decorated. I've gone for coordinating papers from the 8x8 size pad, French Country, but you could just as easily use the 12x12 Deluxe Collector's Edition if you like this paper line. So let me show you the little album now it's all completed. Really simple. I've used bits of paper really on the cover and one of the cutout pictures. Just cut out another sunflower, added the stamp. So I've got a mix of colours to match the box. Oh, let me just show you the box because it's got some chocolates in it. So that was the intention initially, to use it as a chocolate box or a petit four box. I haven't eaten them all, I just didn't buy enough to go all over the layers. And then underneath here, I just take those out. I actually cut down the chocolate box. Let's put them over there. To use the the base of the packaging to drop the chocolates into. So you could very easily do that, or just put chocolates in little paper cases. It might fit for mini muffins or mini cupcakes as well, if you wanted to make something like that. So that's a little box, and then if I take these out, you'll be able to see the little album fits inside really nicely. And of course there's lots of room left in it to add all your ephemerum pictures and whatever you want to put in it. So here it is. The spine I've just covered in the green paper, and then I've used Patterns and Solids from the Off to the Races collection, the plain sides, or the solid side of the papers, and they all seem to go with this collection really, really nicely. So we've got a nice cutout picture on the back there. And then the paper sizes, you can see them on the intro sheet before this section of the video, are really good. They work for 8x8 pads and 12x12s as well. So we've got paper here cut at 4 5/8 square, and then the last, the piece, if you're cutting it from 8x8, the piece that's left fits on this pocket section. So there's no need to trim it down. The paper is just cut at 4 5/8 deep, and then cut down into 4 5/8 square, and then you've got your piece to go on here. And every page is the same, so I've just flipped the blue paper over here, the black, and then I've added a band to each of the pages. So I've used the cockerel border here, which I just love. We've got the lovely sort of petrol blue colour going on. That's the opposite side of the paper. I've also just created pockets out of the pictures as well, so that you can pop something under there. We've got the diamonds going on there, and the lovely country cottage, and the sunflowers, of course, and then the cockerels and the reds just to finish off the back page. And then the 3 little square cards, or photo mats, that fit in the narrow pockets also fit behind the bands on each of the pages as well, so you can add another layer to each of the pages. And they also fit in the pockets there too. So if you wanted to make enough of the 4.5-inch square pieces to go in each of the pages, to go in each of the small pockets, and then the larger pockets, I think that makes 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe one behind here as well. 12 or 13. And it just makes a really stunning little album that you can pop your photos into really easily. And then if you team it up with the box, it makes a really lovely little presentation gift if you haven't filled the box with chocolates. So I hope you've enjoyed making that. I'll put the links to the products from our website below in the description. And don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the how to make, and subscribe to my channel to be kept up to date with all the new projects as they come out. Thanks for watching.